In this video guide, we're gonna talk about the tissue tools in Blender. Now you can see these are some results that I got by experimenting with this tool, and you can see that it creates essentially a tissue, which means a procedural result or generative design, or you can call it many ways, but essentially it's the duplication or multiplication of an element on a pattern on a surface, which is made by faces, as we already know in Blender or any polygonal modeling software. So let's get started from the beginning. And here, the first thing you need to do is to make sure that the add-on is actually activated or not. So go to Edit Preferences and search for in the add-ons tissue. And you can see right here it's activated, so you can turn this on and off. And you will find it here on the sidebar at the bottom. This is the panel right here, tissue. And these are the tools that you can use. Now, this is going to be an introduction. It's not going to be too complex. So if you want to know more, and you can get the information here in the manual of Blender, just search for tissue. You have all the different parameters explained, and you can, deepen your knowledge if you're interested in this tool. So just gonna create a new one, new scene general. There you go. So we're starting with a single cube, and press N of your keyboard and go all the way down here. You can use the scroll wheel, and let's expand a little bit the tissue. Now, if you're not an expert in Blender, I suggest that you can check our Blender video course. So if you wanna be more familiar with Blender. So you see here we have the first three buttons right here. One is tessellate, one is dual mesh, and one is convert to curve. Now, what tessellate does? Well, basically, it's gonna apply a selected object on the various faces of of another object, and it's gonna create again like a tissue or a pattern, a repetition of that. So let's do something really, really simple. So for example, if I add here, let's add a torus, and I'm gonna move this right here. So I can say that this is my distribution object, and this is the object that is going to be distributed on the faces of these other object. So I will select both, make sure that the active is the one that is the surface when you want to distribute the object. So if you hold shift, you can click until this is gonna become brighter and highlighted with a brighter orange. Now that's your active object. So if we click on tessellate now, it's gonna ask us a few parameters, but we can change this also later. Make sure that use modifiers is on, and here we can start with quad, and thickness we can keep it as it is. You can smooth the results, you can merge the results if you want, but let's keep it as it is and say okay. Now this is what will happen. So that object right here has been distributed on this other object, which was the cube. So this is distribution. This is the element that we want to distribute on this surface, and this is the result. Now, if you want to modify that, again, you can select it. You go to the object panel here on the right, and go here to tissue tessellate. And here you can see, you can find different solutions. So this one here, for example, I just want to copy this to do some more examples, but it's copying me everything. Let me just show you. There you go. So this one here, let's use quad. So it's, you can see it's different because it's using the faces and not the triangles. So it's not dividing the faces into two triangles, but it's using the faces. And here, let's use fun. So this is, you can see another result. And patch. Now let's move on and create another object to be our base mesh. So I'm going to use a sphere. There you go. Now you can see that the sphere has this distribution of the faces. So if I use this time dual mesh. That's gonna recreate that surface, and it's gonna create, you can see, another option. So it's another type of structure different from this one. So depending on what you take, you can change it here using dual mesh into something else. So you can edit the structure of that object. And then if you want to apply a custom panel onto this, you can just create one. So let me just create a new object. So I'm gonna go to art, and these are hexagons right here. So probably it's better to create an hexagon. So I'm gonna go to art and go to I'm gonna use curve and triangles or polygon. Now, if you don't find this, you can activate the extra curves in the add-ons. I'm just gonna show you how to find it. So this is an hexagon right here. There you go. So if you go to edit preferences, type extra, you can find extra objects, extra curves. So you have more you can use. And this one here, we will turn it into, let's right click and convert this into a mesh. Now, if we go to edit mode, we can see that this has like triangles, but I don't want all those triangles, so I'm gonna go, well, actually, let's keep it like this, and I want to maintain the structure, and I want to select the faces, and let's do an inset faces, just like this. Okay, so I have like a frame that I can use like this. I can extrude this. There you go. And perhaps also want to insert these other elements. So I'm going to use inset. And this time I don't want to keep them together. I want to do individual. There you go. So that I can use like this for the structure. Let's say that I want to do something more complex. So I'm gonna extrude this like that. Okay, so let's say that this is my element that I want to repeat many times. So first, try to test it with something simple like the cube. So if I take this one here, let's just go to select mode, and this will be the distribution, and do tessellate again. Okay, there you go. So you can see that it's working, even if these are not hexagons. And actually, I want to get rid of some of these. I want to get rid of, so delete those faces right there. Now let's use it on this more complex surface. So select both, tessellate. Okay, and let's move it aside. So this is going to be the result. You can see it's a really complex result. Now, every time you want to modify it, you can go here and you can change it. You can change the scale. So it's more visible. You can change the offset. And you can also change the source element and the surface. So if I select this, go back to the object mode, you can delete the polygon and delete the base object. So here you can reassign another object. So let's use this other sphere. Let's keep it on quad. And here I can select another component. So it can be this one. There you go. So this is the result. Or let's delete it and let's take this one again. So it can be this one again. So keep in mind that any face can be turned into a panel. So whatever shape you have, you can turn it into something really complex. You can use this for jewelry design, for architecture. So let me create here just something pretty specific. So I'm gonna use in the modifier the subdivision surface, I'm gonna increase this. So I have this result right here, and you can see that it has faces, or you can also use, if you want, the multi-resolution and do subdivide, or you can also do simple subdivide and then subdivide again. So you can use many techniques and tools in Blender if you want to create many polygons. And also here, let's right click, and you can either apply actually or convert it into a mesh. So these are going to be actual polygons. And now I can again select whatever panel I've created for this and then apply it right there. So I'm gonna take again this one here, and let's do tessellate again. There you go. So you can do architectural panels and structures, and again, you can do jewelry design. Now, if you want to change the geometry, you can do dual mesh. So it's going to create another type. And here also you can do convert dual mesh. So you can see you have other results. You can change right here a little bit. Okay. And when you're ready, you can use this as another structure, base for the structure. Now, compare to curve is going to take everything in here. Also here you have settings you can do, and it's going to turn it into essentially a wireframe made of curves, so you can use it for other purposes. So these are just few examples of these tools. Probably we're going to use it also in other videos. So subscribe to the channel and stay updated, and check our video courses in Blender if you want to know more about all the tools and features of Blender. If you want to thank us, you can join the channel as a supporter. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.